from the heart, the Artistry of Living. I'm Susie Vance, and I'm here with Melissa Bohacek.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Perfect.
We are a Paladin. So, Melissa,
Yes.
what is it you do here?
I do a lot of things here. I think is the question, what am I supposed to do here, or what do I actually do here?
Well, let's start.
I do a lot.
Okay.
So my job, my title is Marketing and Development Director.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that I get to create strategies for marketing, press releases, content for the website. I always say if something's happening technically with the website, that's not my job. I'm not sure how to fix that. But if the words or the stories or the images need updating or fixing or changing, then
You're
I'm
the
happy
idea
to do
person.
That. Yes.
Oh, I love this.
Yes, I have a lot of big ideas too, Susie. And this world likes to check boxes.
How did you get here?
Oh my gosh.
How did you choose Paladin?
Paladin, I didn't really choose Paladin. Paladin chose me.
Oh,
the
well,
universe.
They're smart.
The universe set this amazing kind of thing in motion, and I ended up here. So I had worked at a place called Northwest Indiana Community Action for the last 15 years. And my boss was amazing, the CEO, but he had retired. So that meant...
So you lost an amazing boss.
Yeah, and that meant a change of guard, and it meant a change of philosophy.
Right.
About that time was also just towards the end of COVID. So I think, like a lot of people, I was already sort of thinking...
what am I doing?
Reevaluating. I was driving to Lake County every day almost, which, it's fine when the top's down and it's summertime, but in the winter time, it's just a bear. And I don't particularly like driving anyway. And so it was, fairly long commute. And after he left, I kind of thought, well, I'm just going to reevaluate. I'll just take some time off. Well, we went to Mexico. We took a short vacation, and I had given them sort of like a month, because after 15 years, you can't do the standard 2 weeks. Like, there's too much. And we went to Mexico, and I had given my time, my notice, and I thought I'll just have this great couple of months to figure out what I need. But I saw a advertisement saying marketing and development director, and I thought, ooh, that's really interesting. And I didn't know a lot about Paladin, which is kind of strange because I have a daughter who has Down syndrome. And I thought, I guess I thought it was more like warehouse mechanical.
And the fact that you didn't know meant that you were needed.
Yes, yes, yeah. And so I came in, and long story short, I met Steve. I just got so lucky. I took another great boss, and he sort of hired me. There's a funny story about him trying to contact me, but my voicemail was full. But we worked through it all. He kind of knew what he was getting into by that point. Details. I'm big picture. And then now the great thing is my daughter comes here to day services. She only comes twice a week. She goes to school still 3 days a week, but she has friends and she loves it. And then I get this cool perspective. I think it's a cool perspective, of a parent. So I see from a very personal kind of mother bear kind of perspective of like what's happening, what's good, what needs, changed, what suggestions do I have? And then also from the staff person, I was like, I'm promoting it. What's best for the agency. And most of the time, it's always the same, and every now and then, there'll be something as, I'll learn. For example, I typically like to do a lot for Stephanie, and just learning the business and meeting other individuals, I kind of see, well, there's a lot of potential there. Maybe mom needs to step back a little bit, which is difficult. But then again, it just gives another perspective of, other parents. I know that there are parents who maybe they don't want their children necessarily to be in the workforce. And I understand that. It's a scary big place out there for your little one or your older one or, pretty much everyone. But I understand too that we have, I understand what procedures, what protocols, what's happening kind of behind the scenes. And, I say, Steffi I can't think of one person here at Paladin that I wouldn't just sort of entrust my own kid with. So,
what a wonderful statement.
Yeah, it's great.
That's fabulous. So you are telling the world about Paladin.
Yes, the world.
What is the most important thing that you can think that we need to know?
I think the most important thing that we need to know is that, particularly for our 18 and up, that they need to feel belonging. They need to feel community. And that we, I think as just regular members of the world and society, have a need somewhere. Most of us have this need to protect and kind of almost, the word I'm thinking of is infantilize these individuals. And they most don't need or want that.
Right.
My parents didn't want that when they were growing older, and I don't want that.
Right.
For the most part, everyone loves a little bit of comfort and love and protection, but these guys, they go to parties, they go to concerts, they, heaven forbid, might drink a seltzer, they do athletics, so I think just there's been a lot of barriers to getting out there. And so I think the most important thing is just, let's treat people just like you would any other person that.
Okay, so to the people who don't know what Paladin is, tell us.
Paladin, so the word paladin is a dedicated advocate, almost like a warrior. There's video games and board games that a paladin would be like your soldier, the one that would go out and share the message and protect the cause. So it's kind of fitting for our agency,
right?
Because we are the paladins of people, vulnerable populations. So we serve and support folks with intellectual or developmental disabilities.
Okay.
Intellectual or developmental disabilities. Got tongue-tied. And this could mean anyone from infant to the end of their life. We support them through waiver services, through day programming, community integrated employment, residential. So what a lot of people might not know is that these individuals rent their own apartments, have their own homes, and they live everywhere.
Yes.
In our community. Might be your neighbor, could be, down the street, and you wouldn't necessarily know it. So people say, oh, why don't you advertise that more? Well, I'm not going to put a sign out in front of a home. Right. I don't want that in my house. Right. They don't want that at their house. But we do offer those supports, and those supports look different for everyone. They're person-centered. So you may need 3 hours to get ready in the morning, and then you're great for the rest of the day. Most people don't drive. Most of our individuals don't drive, so we arrange for transportation. And then behavior management as well. So those services and supports that connect people to the community.
And they can come here, excuse me, they can come here for programming?
Yes. Yes. We actually have 3 large day programs. It's like 7:30 to 3 o'clock. It does not, a lot of our folks, like I said, Stephanie comes twice a week because she's doing job training and schooling those other days of the week. So we don't necessarily want folks to just come to the day program and be in day program all day long. It's a great place to socialize. It's a great place to work on goals. But the idea is to move folks into independence, into the community as much as possible. And so we do that sort of stuff. Another thing that I didn't mention, we do so many things, is respite and PAC services. So as a parent, every parent needs some kind of respite, you know. Maybe your kid goes to school, maybe your kid, and I say kid, generally families that don't have children who have disabilities, and depending on the need, it can be a lot. If you think about the typical kind of lifespan of a child, eventually they become more and more independent. And the same thing is happening with people who have disabilities, although it can vary a lot. So, you know, I may have to help my adult child with hygiene, or, you know, making decisions, or getting them where they need to go, which over time, as a caregiver, can lead to burnout and stress, you know. It doesn't mean that you're not great at it. I feel like I'm a great caregiver. I really do. I can say that.
But you're even better when you've had some time off.
But I'm even better when I've had some time off. Yes, absolutely.
So what does respite care do?
So respite care is after hours. And you can't use, and respite care is a service that's not necessarily for the person with disabilities, but for their caregiver. And it is after hours, and it can be for a couple hours, it can be for a couple of days, depending on what's needed. And so, for example, Stephanie's respite person, PAC, it's also called PAC, which they put together, which is personal assistant care. They went to Chinatown. They got on the train, they took a little adventure, they got, you know, went to the shops, had food, and came back. She was happy and tired. I was happy and tired. And you can't use it to go to work. You can't use it to, you know, you have to really use it for respite, yeah. Resting, getting chores done, whatever it is. I wouldn't use it for chores, but, you know, just, go to the beach. Sit and read a book and have a cup of tea. Yeah. Go
to lunch with
a friend. Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's
take a walk. Listen to Susie's podcast.
There you go. Okay.
See? That's good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was great.
So then we also have 2 other services that we provide. One is early childhood education, which you're familiar with.
Yes.
And those are 2 wonderful programs that we offer. And it still fits into the Paladin model or theme. So these young children,
very young,
6-week-olds,
preschool,
well, even before, 6 weeks, infants, all the way to 5 years old, or before school, need quality early education.
Right.
They have curriculum, real curriculum for young kids that are helping them
get ready,
gain their independence.
Yeah.
What are they getting ready for? They're getting ready for school, and they're getting the whole family ready for school and life. Yeah. Right. We know that those kids are gonna do better when they're introduced to words, when they have healthy nutrition, when they have parents and caregivers and teachers who speak to them and look in their eyes, and a lot of that is modeling then too for the parents.
And they can go on walkabouts in my neighborhood.
Oh, do you live out that way? Oh gosh, every time they put the kids in those strollers,
Yeah.
It's magical.
It is.
It really is. I love, the little kids. I will go just to get some hugs and see the little faces because it's too cute. And we have several parents there too. So I mentioned that, I'm a parent and can get this great perspective. I think now 2 of the staff have children that go there.
That's amazing.
So it's a good... Yeah.
So did you think you'd be doing this when you were a kid?
No. But I knew I'd do something in the helping world. I didn't know how I'd help, but I knew that
was what called to you.
Yeah, I knew it. I just didn't know how. And so something really interesting happened. I went to The Ohio State University after I graduated from high school. And I grew up in this really small, about 100 kids in my graduating class, which there are smaller.
Me too.
Really?
81.
Okay. Yeah. And it's kind of rural and in Ohio. So now my parents did something really great. They got me involved in this group called CISV. So I had a hunch that the world was bigger, but in my little town, it really kind of wasn't. So then I go to Ohio State, 50,000 people on campus at any time. And I remember, Susie, I was on the 16th floor of Morrill Tower, overlooking the stadium and the city lights. And I would spend hours just looking. I couldn't hardly take it all in, and I just wanted to experience everything and do everything and learn everything and meet everyone. And I actually, did a lot. I learned a lot, but I also kind of found out that I didn't have the same opportunities that other people had because I had come from such a small
town.
I was 10th in my class, but 10th out of 100 in Ohio is a little different than... And I was pre-med.
Interesting.
But I can remember, it's kind of funny, I remember being in organic chemistry. And some of these college students had years of chemistry and biology, and my school was wonderful. Really, I would never complain about our little public school. Fantastic, caring people, great resources. My mom was a teacher there, but just scale,
Right.
There's more opportunity, and then you have all the international students too who are, working hard to get into this. It's mind blowing. Really truly mind blowing how large and how big of a competitor kind of, student body base this was. So anyway, I was struggling, and my TA, because this, the lectures are so large,
Right.
they have, 6 or 7 TAs to break it down.
Those
for
are
you.
teachers' assistants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saying, Melissa, I wonder if this is too hard for you. Well, that didn't set well with me.
No.
And I tried and I worked hard, and I ended up doing really well my first couple years until I kind of got this idea that it was really going to be a slog. Is that the word?
That's a good one.
And I thought, I'm not sure I really want this to be
that bad.
my life. Yeah. Not that I wasn't motivated. I probably could have done it, but yeah, I wasn't sure that I wanted to do it.
The interesting thing is that what you ended up doing is related.
It's related. I loved psychology and I loved English. And so I just started taking those types of courses, and by the time I knew it, I was done. And they said, take a technical writing course and you've got English. And I went, okay. And then, I took the psychology of monkeys and apes.
Oh,
and it
interesting.
was so cool. Yeah, I took a linguistics class. So then I started really enjoying the learning rather than I've got to do this and I don't understand this and I'm putting these formulas into So that kind of led me. If you just kind of sometimes follow, and I tell my kids that I have an older daughter at IU, and she always tells me, how do I make sure that I'm doing it right? And how do I plan to make sure that I'm doing it right? And I'm like, well, sometimes, life lesson, letting go and just trusting what's happening will get you further than,
And you never know what will show up.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's a book I really like called The Power of Now. And if you really try, I like it. I'm not there yet. I'm not gonna,
Don't we all spend a lifetime getting there?
Yes, I think we do. Yeah. It's a cool book, but it's kind of, kind of generally try to do that. Let things happen, see how they evolve. You can always change.
Yes! What a concept!
Yeah, you can always move. Very few things are so serious that they can't be undone.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I try to tell my kids. Now, take life seriously. Do what you need to do. But also, if you're stressing really hard about those small things, it's probably not going to do too much good. Because things are going to happen the way they happen anyway.
Yeah. Great.
So, the other fun thing that happened when I graduated, now I have a degree in psychology and English. What do I do? But there was a job opening at a place called Goodwill, Columbus. They were a residential facility for people with disabilities. There were 23 people with disabilities, and I walked in, and because I had a degree, honestly, they were like, yeah, you're hired. You can start Monday. And because it's been historically, people who work in the helping industries are, not paid that great, and it's hard work. So generally there's openings. And I was the lead specialist for 23 residents, and it was such an eye-opener. It was such a, I'd never met anyone with disabilities before like that. Let alone now be sort of in charge of what happens in the residential facility. Some were what we call total assist. So some couldn't toilet, eat, anything without assistance. And some of them had community access where they just had to be back in time for dinner. They needed to work during the day. That was Goodwill's policy. And I stayed there for about a year. And I'm so grateful for that because this is crazy the way this happens. I had that experience, right? So I put that in my pocket. I loved it. I knew I liked that, and I went on to do other things. And then I met this man at Labor Day's festival in Michigan City. And we became friendly. We decided we wanted to date. We took a time because he had 2 daughters that he ended up getting custody of. And I was like, well, things are pretty serious. Let's meet the girls, because that was important to me, to not meet them before. Because I knew I was gonna fall in love. Like I need to not fall in love and then have to leave them, Right. So things were very serious. I decided to meet the girls, and one of them happened to have Down syndrome. And that's my little Stephanie, who I've known since she's lived with us. We ended up getting married. The girls were part of the ceremony, and she's lived with me since. The one I mentioned is in college. She was 5. Stephanie was 4. And now we also have a 14-year-old. So, yeah. So had I not had that experience, I don't know how I would have felt or reacted. Right. Like, it's kind of intimidating. At first.
Yeah.
Because anything you don't know.
Right.
And I have a hunch that she would have won me over anyway. But having that experience was just really cool. And I sometimes look back and you see all these pieces.
Things that brought you where you are today.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my story, Susie.
It's a great story. It's a great story. And she is going to tell the story, which you're already doing, of Paladin. So check out Paladin's website, which is
www.paladin, which is PALADIN.care, because we care.
So check it out and stay in touch, because they're on the move.